And I'll give you a quick story on the Mississippi River. So fish a tournament every year that George Young hosts, and Bill Dance is always there because it's in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's the Mississippi River Monsters. I fished it for many, many years. I did not fish it this past year. It was one of the first years that I didn't get to attend. But on the Mississippi River, you do what they call bumping. You know, and a lot of people don't know what bumping is. And in the catfish world, I mean, you either love it or you hate it. So first year that we went up there was probably 7, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. I went up there with this mindset that I was going to drive up and down the river, find a big treetop, and I was going to drop a live brim down. That was what I knew how to do. So that was my goal. Well, I went up there and I realized there ain't no treetops sitting out on the Mississippi River. That river's absolutely huge, and it's about like fishing the ocean.
Yeah.
Except it's flowing 5 to 15 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're at, if you're, you know, in a certain bend. So like we went up there and I had these big 8-ounce no rolls the first year. And I was like, that'll sink anything. And people around here, they're like, oh, that's a really big weight. Well, we went up there and threw them out, and in 30 foot of water, they're floating on the top of the water. I mean, wouldn't even remotely go down.
Yeah.
And those guys were like, oh, if you're anchor fishing, you're going to need a 24 to a 32 ounce weight.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy. My rod won't even hold that. I
Yeah,
can't throw
that's
that,
nuts.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Well, so then they're like, well, you're going to have to bump out here. So then I started, you know, and bumping is basically where you set your trolling motor up the river, and, you know, you just try to cut the speed of the current in half. So if it's going 2 mile an hour, you try to cut it to 1 mile an hour, and you're facing up the river, but you're going backwards down the river, and you got one rod in your hand, and you're just kind of bumping that bait up and down over those rocks.